Alright, so this is a 1984 Nissan 720 King Cab. Now, excuse the mess in it. It's been on jacks for a couple of months. It's my dad's truck. He has not had time to clean it out, and he's currently fixing it right now. So it does look like a hoarder's truck just because we've been having things sat in it. It's going to get cleaned out after the transmission's back in. But I'm just going to go over pretty much everything that's wrong with this car because because I know pretty much all that's wrong with it. And you can't tell it right now, but on jacks, it is lowered. Wasn't lowered correctly. I'll go over that in a minute. But I guess this is just going to be a video of everything wrong with this dirty, old, rusty pickup truck. Again, yeah, it looks like a hoarder's truck. But that's because it's been having things sat in it for the past couple of months. It's going to get cleaned out, though, here soon, after it's running. Well, anyway, as I said, it is a 1984 Nissan 720 King Cab. And like I said, it's on jacks. As you can see, it is on jacks. The reason for that is he was driving it down the road one day, and I guess it ran over something because it is lowered, and put a hole in the bottom of the transmission. Was a five-speed manual transmission in this truck, and it leaks all the gear oil out, and he grinded it to a stop. But he's got a new one that was out of a 240. He's got all the gearing and everything out of a 240, going into the original bell housing, because he was just going to swap the whole transmission, but the bell housing wouldn't fit. So he swapped all the gears into the truck bell housing, and now has a 240 transmission gearing, all the gearing and ratios and everything in the King Cab. Now, another issue with it is it does have 500,000 miles, so the motor's probably about to be going out here soon, or at least he estimates 500,000. The odometer does not work. It is a 2.2 liter. You're going to see the sky for a minute. 2.4 liter, I believe. 2.4 liter, 4-cylinder, making 110 horsepower, 150 foot-pounds of torque. It is a Z-Nap motor. It's got 2 spark plugs per cylinder. So instead of 4, it's got 8 spark plugs with a knockoff Weber carburetor, which all this under here works. It needs a new battery. The Weber, he thought he bought an original one, not a new Weber, but he didn't check it until much later when he went to go ahead and install it. And it was already too late to return it, because then he found out it was a Chinese knockoff. New radiator, aluminum radiator. It used to have an old iron core, that's gone. New brake cylinder. It's got a bunch of rust spots all over it. This fender right here, or not fender, but the grill's a little loose. The headlights are good. As you can see, as I said, the motor has got almost 500,000 miles on it. So it's about to need a new motor, because when he was messing with it, they found there was just a tad bit of play in the crank, meaning the motor's about to go out. So eventually, here soon, it is going to need a new one. He's talking about putting you're going to see the ground for a minute. Talking about putting a bored up 305, the motor under that tarp over there, in it. A V8. He's going to do a V8 swap probably. Right there, it popped the hubcap off. It needs a new hubcap on it, because we're going down the road and it knocked the wheel bearing out of it. So he had to replace the wheel bearing. The exhaust pipe is about that wide from it grinding the ground, because this truck was not lowered with actual springs and blocks. It was lowered by removing leaf springs, and they removed the leaf springs and put a block in the middle of it. So it was not lowered properly, but it was bought like that. He didn't lower it like that. It was some kid's truck he bought it off of. We've had it for forever. The interior is a little messed up. I'll show you the filthy interior on this truck. It's very dirty. He's got new door handles. He just hadn't had time to put it on. It is missing the, and like I said, it looks like a hoarder's truck right now, so that's a problem. Needs to be cleaned. A different steering wheel on it. This is just the aluminum aftermarket, not aftermarket, but the aluminum stock steering wheel he picked up for 20 bucks in a junkyard. I found out this is a very rare steering wheel. It's worth like 300 bucks. Missing the steering column, none of the gauges work, except for the fuel gauge. Dash is cracked, as you can see. Looks like a hoarder's truck. That's gonna get cleaned out. Missing the door card, got a ratchet strap for the window. Bench seat's broken. He's gonna get new interior for it eventually. Aftermarket Kenwood. It is missing the rear bench or rear buckets. Let's see here. Very rusty. It is a very rusty little truck. It's a very rusty little truck. All the paint's starting to come off. That orange you're seeing, the metallic orange, is actually the original paint. The paint job was not that great on it. It was a matte black paint job, and then over the years it started coming off. It's missing this. It was bought like that. Center console's loose. The center console's loose. It's missing the glove box. It is truthfully a piece of garbage, but it is a cool little truck, especially when it gets cleaned and it's driving. It's a ratty little lowered truck, and it's normally, I promise, it's normally not this dirty. This truck is normally fairly clean for a work truck because he does use it to work out of. So other than like his work equipment and stuff like that, it's fairly clean. Fairly, it's still a little dirty, but it's not like this. It doesn't look like a hoarder's truck, is what I'm saying. The interior you can actually sit in. You can actually sit in the interior. The bed normally doesn't have anything but the work stuff in it. I guess since I'm at the very end and I've pretty much gone through everything that's wrong with the truck, because even though it looks really nasty and dirty, and it is nasty and dirty, oh, right there is busted. He needs to fix that. That's busted worse than it was. Well, anyway, yeah, normally it does not look this bad. It looks a lot better than this normally, but like I said, it sat for a little bit. It's got its dings and dents here, but I guess since I've gone over pretty much everything that's wrong with it, like I was saying, it's just really old and nasty. As far as mechanical stuff goes, other than transmission, there's really not much wrong with this truck. So I guess I'll go over what it was. This is the very first year for the Nissan, because before this it was the Datsun. It was the Datsun 720. You could get them in four-wheel drive. You get them in four-wheel drive if you wanted to. This particular one is a two-wheel drive, manual, 5-speed. I think it was originally an automatic truck, but then it got swapped out to a manual. It then eventually got swapped out to a manual truck. But you could get them four-wheel drive. I've already said that. I'm sorry. And the four-wheel drives are really cool. These are very good trucks. They're very sturdy. They can tow pretty good. They haul pretty good. They're not fast, but it's a work truck. It's like the little Mazda I did. You can see right there the frame. Hold on. The frame on these trucks is what makes them truly good, truly unique. The boxed. You've got the big three, the Holy Trinity, the whatever you want to call them, the mini trucks. This one, Nissan hard bodies and 720s. The Mazda B22s, Mazda trucks, and Toyota being the best. Toyota has the most durable, strongest one. They're the one that they famously dropped from the building on Top Gear, the Hilux. And they're very neat little trucks. I guess some of the things I could say, since I do daydream a lot in these videos, I guess I could say that something that'd be cool is I really don't think a V8 swap, especially not a 305. I mean, it's neat, but I'd just put a 4-cylinder back in it. I'd put something out of a 240. It's already got the gears out of a 240. Put a 240 in it, turbocharge it, single turbo. Try to make about 320 horsepower out of it. Single turbo, bigger cams. If you don't want an aftermarket head, port and polish the head. Put better valves in it. All that kind of stuff. And it'd be a really cool little sleeper truck. A little rat rod, if you want to say. Well, the 305's nice, but it's a 305. And there's really nothing, and again, nothing really wrong with a 305. You can build them. It's the heads are trash. People get it wrong. Heads on 305s are garbage. You want to throw the heads out. But other than that, it's a 350 pretty much with a smaller bore, with a really small bore. A 350 with a really small bore is what a 305 is. Now, I do think you can't actually bore it up to a 350. So it's more like you can't bore it up to a 350. It uses the same block, but something about like turrences or something, you'd have to change stuff. I don't know. It might be a 327 block. Well, anyway, it's not a bad motor. You can make plenty of power out of one. You can make plenty of power out of one. You just got to ditch the heads. So it'd be a pretty quick truck, be a fun truck. I just don't think it'd be. I wouldn't put a 4-cylinder in it, is what I'm saying. I guess. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and end my rambling and go ahead and do the end stuff. So if you made it this far, I do want to apologize for the shaky camera, but if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you want to support the channel, all you have to do, the biggest way to do it is to like, comment, subscribe, share the video to anyone who might be interested. I've got this, if you want to see more, I've got that green car right there I'm working on, fully built 402 big block going in it, but the video's not about that. I've got one about it. I'll put another one in the description. And if you want to see more, I'll put a video in the description. All my videos are pretty trash, just like this one. And again, you want to support the channel, biggest way to do it, like, comment, subscribe, and share. But other than that, thank you for watching, and have a good one.